here now to discuss trial attorney Michael Jaafar. Michael, of course, thank you for being on with both of us now. And he is saying, listen, ambush is the word I'm going to have to use, a discovery violation, that there was information that the state had. They just provided all about the time frame and about the accident reconstructionist and two different witnesses the Commonwealth wants to call. What's your take?
My take is the judge is going to allow it, and I'll tell you why. It's completely ironic that this happened because in the first trial, right, 6 weeks into the trial, they brought in their prime expert, the dog expert, 6 weeks into the first trial, right? And so I don't think that the judge, what are her options? Either to continue the trial or sanction the state, she's not going to do that, or allow the evidence but give a jury instruction. I think she'll do that. It's not that they have bad hands. They have clean hands. They just got the data and they gave it when they got it. They weren't hiding this data. If they were hiding this data, the judge would have no choice but to just disallow it. But this goes to the core of the defense's theory. The part of the defense's theory that I've always liked is the theory that, hey, his injuries are not consistent with being hit with a car and the timeline doesn't add up. But they've already shown their hand. We know what their timeline is. This new data basically breaks down their timeline. At this point, if this data is allowed, in my opinion, the forensics as well as the timing as well as the car data and the aperture data completely conclusively puts John O'Keefe and Karen Read's car in collision with one another, in my opinion, right? And so that's why they're going to fight hard. But at the end of the day, it's ironic. They got it in the first trial. Their dog expert came in 6 weeks after the trial began, and the judge allowed it. So I think the judge is going to allow this.
Yeah, I would have to agree. But as always, she'll probably give the defense wide latitude in their cross-examination. And there's some things to be cross-examined about, because he's saying he tried to line it up with Whiffin's testimony. So we'll see. Michael, stand by. We're going to take a break right now. Let's bring in our guest with us, trial attorney Michael Jaafar. All right, Michael, you said she's going to let it in. So here's what I ask you. She'll probably say something to the effect, as I mentioned earlier, that the defense will have an opportunity and a wide berth to cross-examine. And I think based on what I'm hearing, if they do the cross-examination right, they can bring some questions up as to the changes that were made that seem to, at least according to the argument by Alessi, to be helpful to the state. But they can undermine those by suggesting, look, they had one, they went back and they changed it, so how much can we rely on?
I hadn't thought about it till you just said it, but that's a great point. Yeah, because it actually might help them in the sense that their whole entire case, and as it should be, is breaking down all the witnesses that the prosecution is bringing to the case. This could give them the ability to do that. I think that the reason they're going to fight so hard, though, Michael, is because this would be very damning for them. But to your point, they are going to say this is kind of like a moving target. We don't know where the goal line is, and so there's a reason why this is a moving target, because this data is not reliable, and therefore we have reasonable doubt. So they will do that. She's going to allow it in, and when she allows it in, I mean, Hank Brennan said why she should allow it in. We just got this on May 8th, and we gave it to them right away. And at the end of the day, like I said, it's not written in stone that you cannot bring in evidence in the middle of a trial if that's when it became available to you. That's just black letter law. You can do it any time. The Rule 14 violation is if you held on to it, you didn't bring it. So I don't think that even applies here. I don't even think she's going to issue any kind of a sanction or warning. And this is different than the situation that they brought up with the ARCA witnesses. The ARCA witnesses, that was completely different. There was a misrepresentation to the court by the defense. So I think at this point, she's definitely going to give them wide latitude. They have a rebuttal case. This case is completely different. My God, is it different? Everything about this case is different. This is really living up to its billing.
Let me ask you something, and we may not have a lot of time, but this past witness was the medical examiner, and the recross ended with, even with all the additional circumstances, did you still find cause of death undetermined? Yes. So how can you not have reasonable doubt, regardless of what you think happened in this case, Michael? Isn't that reasonable doubt right there?
It's not helpful for them. I agree with you, but I think you overcome reasonable doubt, because in this trial versus the last one, we know for a fact that John O'Keefe, based on the forensic data, if you believe the forensic data, he was there in league with her car. So manner of death, she did say blunt force trauma, and so I think that still overcomes the burden, in my opinion, as long as you keep them, you connect John O'Keefe to the vehicle itself and not going into the house, which in my opinion, it's just not possible that he was in the house. So he died from blunt force trauma somewhere. Based on her opinion, he had blunt force trauma, right? So how would he have get blunt force trauma? Yeah, and his lower extremities he's in it, but I think the accident reconstructionist, Judge Ashley, is going to say that the top fender on the back of the car hit his head because he's 6'1", and that's the top fender of her Lexus. I think that that's how they're going to overcome reasonable doubt. If you ask a juror right now, based on what she said, that one little snippet, yes, I do agree with you, but I think with the accident reconstructionist, his height, and the fact that she did say it was blunt force trauma, I think they will connect him with the car.
All right, we're going to see what happens as this trial continues to unfold. Thank you to Michael Jaafar for joining us tonight.